Right, can you hear me?
Welcome everybody to the CrownE League race 4, Group 1. We're in Spain. We're finishing off Mika and Janssen all at the top of the order, and hopefully we're going to give you a slightly better experience. Although sadly, it does look like I'm struggling here with the stream going through the PlayStation, so it's not entirely the fault of the streaming software. I don't seem to be able to. I just had an issue there. So if you're watching on that one, do say hello and let us know which stream is better, if either of them. It does appear to be some issues with the PSN possibly tonight after some maintenance today. Lesty, let's test.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, in the break, obviously you watching would have probably seen that Yagizan has crashed out. Fortunately, he's posted a very good lap anyway, so he's looking good to be quite high up. As Felix 1, I think, might have just retired in the pits. I'll try and get round.
Yeah, I've got Davey about to start a lap, I think, and he's on a 15.525. So hopefully.
Oh wow.
Hopefully he's about to defend that pole position, and we'll sit with him. There's 18 seconds to go, so everybody finishing the lap. They're on me.
That is an insane lap.
That's brilliant stuff. So Davey then going through sector 1. We'll get an idea of how that is as he approaches turn 4. How's that one? It's just over. It's 0.059 slower than he's been before. It seems, Leslie, that our choice is through the PC with the odd frame dropout, or through the PlayStation with long pauses between action. Davey invalidates, so that's not going anywhere. Helm then is currently third. He's 0.004 of a second away from his best time. And let's see if he can close this lap out and jump Davey and possibly challenge Mika. He's going to need a monster of a final sector if he's going to do it. My apologies if you suffer from motion sickness. It's very difficult to watch with the connection issue we've got going on here tonight. But Helm to the line then, and it's 9 thousandths faster and not enough to jump Davey or Mika in the standings. Mika is on a slowdown lap, so he's not going to do any better. Janssen then. Janssen on his lap, similarly cooling down. What about Abzi? He's invalidated. I think we might have our grid order, and hopefully we can make a choice then between streams, Lesty.
We can indeed. I don't know whether it would be better for you if it was just left to you. Because obviously we then have the gaps in the audio, so if it's better to do solo, then I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What do you think?
By the look of what I'm looking at on my devices, it seems like a clearer image is coming through from the PC original stream, and we're getting quite blocky and long cycling paused screens on the PlayStation, which I think the PlayStation stream is almost unreadable from what I can see. So I think we might have to live with slightly jolty footage through the PC, Lesty. If you agree, I'll get you back on that call.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
So Mika taking pole from Davey, Helm, Yagizan, Frankie. I've got another Davey for DRA in 6th, then Acosta for LFR, Janssen, Razorback, Luca, Abzi, Pedro, Mr. BT, Snell, Hidda, Felix 1, Emil, Bo, Hjalmar and Geroff U. All of our drivers then, all 20, ready to take the track. So just give me 1 second while I switch back to the stream and the call with Lesty. Just a moment. Okay, so hopefully we will have Lesty back on the PC audio, and we'll try and get him to say hello now. Hi, Lesty. Yes, I can hear you now, and I can see your voice coming through on the pictures. So, had a little review there of the standings just while we organised everything back into place. But yes, we're going to stay on this one. Unfortunately, we have made some adjustments as far as possible and done some testing, but this is the best that we can do for you tonight, I'm afraid, guys, in terms of footage. So please forgive us. It does look to be a PSN issue as much as anything. Mika takes pole from Davey and Halm, then Yagizan, Frankie, Davey for DRA, Acosta, Janssen, Razorback and Lucas are top 10. We've got tyre choices, Lesty. Fairly predictable, just maybe two standouts there. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, Gareth Yu has nothing to lose, as it were, when it comes to track position by starting on the hards and taking his time to get them switched on, presumably trying to stay out of trouble in that first couple of laps. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to get the tyres switched on. He's going to be all over the road on this warm-up lap trying to get himself together and get any kind of temperature generated. So hopefully he will be up and running and able to make the best of that strategy. Looks like TFL very much on top. We've got LFR in third, DRA showing fifth and sixth. But while NLR have significantly more points than the other third place team in the other group, Lesty, they're going to have to get the job done today as well to make sure that they qualify. Yeah, CPI very much in the middle, and yeah, DRA somewhat spread out, but TFL all over this one so far. But will it prove to be true in race trim as it was in qualifying? We're about to find out. We've got 5 lights on, and it's lights out, and away we go with the front two getting away pretty comfortably. A little bit of action going on as they're jostling down for speed. I saw an LFR car on the grass temporarily, but the front two leading and cooperating at least through the first few corners, blocking off the other cars who are behind them, with Halm consolidating that third place. Mr. BT has retired from the session immediately and is out on the entry to turn 3 right now. Bad news for CPI. Wow. No, absolutely. LFR dropping down. Some of the NLR boys have moved up already. So they've moved up 5 places for Gareth Yu, 4 for Felix 1, 7 for Emil. And we're back under green flag racing, so enough about all of that. Let's get back up and see what's happening at the front, because half a second separates most of the front runners from first in turn all the way down to P7, and lap 2 is underway with TFL's Davey getting the first of the fastest laps, of course, as the pole sitter. We've got Halm just trying to stay with Davey and Mika, the TFL pairing, who obviously are making their way to try and extend this lead as much as possible. We've got a couple of penalties already, and 3 of the soft runners have fallen back, so making life a little bit easier for Gerolf Yu on his hard tyres here in the first stage. But hopefully we're about to see some action. I think Hidde is launching one here into turn 5, and they'll keep going nice and close together as they then reach the next overtaking zone into turn 10. Just having to back out of the move a little bit there, Lesty. Yeah, definitely. Car's still fat with fuel, and the soft runners now starting to need to be a little bit careful on those tyres. Try and keep the tyres alive as far as possible. Helm is really closing in on second place here. And like I mentioned before, apologies for the cars jumping around and the pausing on screen occasionally as well. It's we're riddled with network issues today, unfortunately. I'll try and stay with Mika, whose drive is a little bit smoother than Helm's, but Helm is definitely staying with him, 0.3 of a second back, and not letting the TFR boys get away with this one. We've got Frankie trying to hold off the attentions of Yagizan, and we know the kind of pace. Yeah, so if there's an engineer for LFR right now, I think the instruction to Helm is get on with it, because you're going to have Yagizan right up behind you very soon. The problem Helm has got, of course, as DRS was enabled, is that the car in front is close enough to the one in front of him to hold on to that DRS. So that advantage somewhat nullified. It's going to take very careful management of ERS here, Lesty, to try and get this move done. Yeah. If you're sitting there in an engineer's seat for Helm, what are you saying here? Spend it all on the way out of the final corner for the best possible chance? Challenge from Mika gets past Davey. Yeah. Little bit of cooperation. It looked, I think Davey was a little surprised by that one. He's certainly on the defensive now from Helm, so he's got to switch from not really needing to defend to really watching those mirrors now that Helm is on it, and hopefully the boys are going to give each other enough space on track, because with the connection problems we've got tonight, anything can happen with cars jolting around on the track. It looks like we've got a problem for Janssen, Lesty. Janssen disappearing down the order. I don't know if you can see anything that's going on with him at the moment, but yeah, falling back. Davey struggling for pace. I wonder if that move at the front of the order, he closes right in with DRS, but he was slipping back away from Mika. So that DRS really helping him stay not only in touch with the lead, but also stay within DRS, which is his chief defensive weapon right now against the attentions of Halm. Yagazan hasn't closed in much further either, so obviously his pace isn't sufficient to overcome that DRS factor for Halm in front. Frankie and DRA's Davey obviously doing pretty well here in 5th and 6th. Frankie trying not to let Yagazan get away from him, and the CPI triplicate of Hidder, Snell and Razorback 7th, 8th and 9th. None of the NLR boys currently in the top 10. Yeah. Yeah, very, very smart indeed. I think Hal might be tempted here, but he just can't get on terms. But patience appears to be the key, as it looks like Davey getting too much on that entry curb, the apex curb of turn 2, left the car fishtailing somewhat as he approached turn 3. I think he was pretty glad that the next turn was in the opposite direction, because he already had opposite lock on, Lesty. Is this what we'd expect in terms of tyre wear? Are we expecting the softs to start fading already on lap 6? Yeah, so on the end of lap 7, Mika, the soft runners clearly in charge at the moment, although Razorback dropping back but behind his CPI colleagues on the soft tyre hit there against the medium runners. Looks like Halm is going for it. He's already up the inside. He's got the DRS, and I think Davey lost out that DRS to Mika at the very crucial point here. So Halm getting up to 2nd place for LFR. I'm sure his team will be very pleased with that one, and he just needs to consolidate that now and perhaps wait for the round of pit stops, which we're expecting relatively soon. Mika from Halm and Davey, then Yagazan, Frankie, DRA's Davey, and then the CPI group, Snell, Hidder, Razorback, and a bit of a gap then to Felix 1, Geroff Yu, who are on for NLR in 10th and 11th. We've got Hajalmar and Bo, then Emil, Abzi, Lucas, Costa, Janssen and Pedro. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. BT early doors, so CPI fighting with just 3 cars at this stage of the race. 3-second penalty for Emil. Let's see. Let's have a look. Yeah, very close. Yeah. We have Mika says no to a pit opportunity. Davey for DRA goes in. Davey for TFL is in as well, and everybody else moving up the order. So CPI on medium tyres, Snell and Hidder in 2nd and 3rd place. Then Felix 1 in 4th, Geroff Yu in 5th on the hard tyres, possibly on the best strategic option as he then overtakes his teammate Felix 1 as well. So on hard tyres, and be looking to try and get to the latter quarter of the race at least before he can put softs on, but in a good position right now, as are CPI suddenly. Yeah, certainly everybody moving up the order now. It all depends really where these soft runners are going to come out relative to each other. Halm is in front of Lucas. Davies dropped behind him and in fact just overtakes him there just as I was reading out the results. So a little bit of action going on as Lucas has spun. I think he was pushed into it. I think some fairly opportunistic moves going on with the hard tyre shot. Davey on Lucas. I didn't get to see enough of the incident to really report on it, but yeah, struggling there a little bit. So Lucas dropping down. I think he'll be heading into the pits shortly, as now Mika in the pits, and he comes out of the pits very close relative to Halm, although Halm now has got much warmer tyres and should have an advantage for about half a lap here, Lesty. Yeah, absolutely. Razorback then, yeah, possibly ending up on a two-stop strategy. I don't know if the mediums will get 22 laps out of them, but yeah, an interesting approach. Of course, that could work out well. He'll have good speed, so caution period could complicate things, but a challenge for the lead going on is exactly as you predicted, Leslie. Halm breezing past and taking the lead for LFR, the net lead, I guess, down there on the drivers who have in fact stopped. But yeah, good move from Halm and showing good pace, having got those hards up to temperature. He managed to do an undercut, but he didn't manage the undercut, but he managed to get those tyres probably in better condition and taking the lead past TFL. Yep. Absolutely, lap 12, they're ticking by. We are into the second third of our race, so it's time to start putting the hammer down. It looks like Halm has pulled out a nice 0.7 of a second gap. Is it sufficient? It doesn't look to be sufficient. Mika is screaming up towards the back of him. Will he be close enough under braking? He gets very close indeed, but it looks like 0.7 is perhaps 1/10 too much, Lesty, in order to make a move coming out of the final corner. Yeah. Lots of action going on just ahead of these guys with, it looks like Hujalmar on Felix one, and then Emil just behind and Bo behind him. So we've got a DRA NLR party happening on track as they head towards turn 10. Everyone just sort of piling on the pressure here and trying to push another driver into a mistake. It's very, very technical, tricky circuit, not many good overtaking opportunities, but plenty of places to make an error or to trip over those difficult track limit standards. Oh, absolutely. It looks like Hujalmar was almost boxed in, but he just about got the better of Felix one there. Will he come back at him? He's got the inside line. The driver inside the cockpit is waving his hand at Gerov Yu, although I don't think he's going to be watching or caring particularly about gesticulation going on in the cockpit. Hujalmar just about managing to get that move done, and he did that while the driver in front, who was Felix one, had DRS on the back of Gerov Yu. So one of the first one of the first double DRS kind of moves that we've seen tonight. So it can be done. Hjalmar showing the way. So he's now fourth with Gerolf Yu ahead in third. CPI 3 seconds up the road here, although Hidder has got an 11-second penalty already. That's going to make life rather difficult later on. Hjalmar making a slight mistake through turn 12, going wide. Felix one right on the gearbox now, and Hjalmar just courting with the problem of losing DRS from the car in front. In fact, he has lost DRS from the car in front, so should be an easy one here for Felix one to retaliate. It takes to the inside. Hjalmar not really fighting this one, or weaving particularly, and I think he knew his goose was cooked there, Lesty. Absolutely. So further back with our stopped drivers, the ones who have pitted already, we've got Mika still in, Mika's actually overtaken Helm. While we were watching that little exchange up ahead on track, we've got Mika having resumed past Helm, so it's struggling there a little bit. I wonder if there was an error crept in, or it's just the DRS factor. So Mika, Helm, Davey and Yagizan. Frankie's not really with this group, he's 5 seconds back, and the field really starting to spread out, and that's going to open up the strategies pretty soon there, Lesty. 13 laps on the medium. At what point will these tyres start to run out? Yeah. No, they've decided that it's lap 15 is the point. Well, the point where lap 14 becomes lap 15 is the time to pit. Razorback moving up the order a little bit, now in P11 on relatively fresh mediums, but we think possibly if 15 laps is the max the drivers can get out of these mediums, then he's almost certainly on a two-stop strategy. So we'll see how it all works out. Gerolf Yu, currently the highest placed hard runner, who will need to stop again, and that is true of Hidder, Snell himself, Gerolf Yu, Hjalmar and Abzi, the front five. Then Mika, Helm, Davey, Yagizan, Frankie, the top 10 at this point. But we get points all the way through the field, Lesty, so always something to fight for. Yeah, so it looks like, is that a medium to hard option strategy going on there for Hjalmar and for most of the rest of the drivers? He comes out just behind Razorback. No, he comes out, yes, just behind Razorback, and we've got a safety car, Lesty. Did you happen to see what happened or who is involved? It looks like Emil, possibly? Yep. Yeah, it looks like the mediums should go to the end. Even those drivers who are on relatively fresh hards, you still think they would go for the mediums at this point? Well, the front three have definitely pitted, so Gerolf Yu has made it up to the third place, and if everyone else pits behind him, he'll be in a good position. No, Helm has decided to stay out. Mika has come in, so Helm electing to take track position. Thank you very much, and get on by everybody. Now it's a bit randomised as to who might have to double stack. I think everybody manages to single stack thanks to the custom livery car pit box arrangement. It's a little bit awkward, but yeah, the front group are all in. We've got fresh mediums on virtually the whole field. Abzi has gone on to softs. I'm confused, Leslie. Can you explain that one or not? No, it could be a little bit of a Jeff communication issue. I know I've seen that in the past, just forgetting or not realising that your next tyre was selected to be soft, and just in the dash to get into the pits, it's difficult to navigate the MFD, especially if you're on a wheel. It can be very difficult indeed. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what I suspect it was. Hidder had 11 seconds of penalties. I think he had to serve a 5-second penalty in the pits. So I don't think it was a stacking issue. I think it was just serving that penalty. He's now 6 seconds he's got owing. But yeah, Gerofyu definitely in a good position at this point. Third place. But LFR Snell, Gerofyu, it's LFR CPI NLR, followed by 2 CPI drivers. Completely turn around from qualifying where we saw TFL very much on the offensive. We've got another CPI driver in the pits right now. It's Razorback. He's gone in. So he's going to go to the back of the field, or near enough the back of the field, while we wait for the whole of the field to catch up the back of this safety car. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you split your strategy quite so dramatically, you do definitely guarantee that one of you's on the right strategy, come what may. But perhaps the soft tyre is not the best option here. We'll see. He could get past these hard runners and streak off into the lead. But yeah, it's and they will be definitely interesting to watch them come through the field. They're all on fresh mediums, so slightly better position, especially than Halmerhead. But of course the field will start to spread out, and the job becomes quite difficult to catch him. Now everyone should be pitted to the end, apart maybe from Abzi, but we're about to get underway, Lesty, and let's see who gets the best drive out of this one. I'll perhaps ride with Abzi and see how the car's performing. Yeah, we should have a bit of a showstopper now. The whole field has condensed. We should get some team tactics going on. Halm has not yet gone. All the drivers expecting him to blast out of the final corner. He goes now, and looks like Gerofyu with a good drive. Hidder also, and we ride with Abzi, who should have good stopping power on the way down into the first corner. It looks like Gerofyu ran the outside of the CPI driver Snell, getting the job done immediately. So CPI now third and fourth and fighting amongst each other as Abzi looking to capitalise, getting very close up behind Snell here. Will he be able to make a move? Not quite. They go side by side, Felix 1 and Mika heading into turn 3. Yeah, they're still fighting that one, Felix 1 and Mika. Felix 1 on the outside, Mika on the inside, and getting it done just about. Felix 1 holding on. He knows the next turn is going to be a right-hander. Sorry, a left-hander here. right-hander to come, and drives. Mika drives completely over the racing line and says, "That's my line, my position. You don't get that one so easily." So Hajama now defending from TFR around the outside. Mika having a storming run here, having really got those tyres up to temperature, and yeah, some of these hard runners, Leslie, struggling on this restart lap. Yeah. Yeah, Frankie and Hammer were just fighting with each other, and yeah, it looks like they're going to get absolutely swamped. Felix one running outside, Davey through the middle, and will they get this one safely through turn 2? I think just about organising themselves, but that got frantic very quickly. No, definitely not. However, Gerolf Yu on the mediums is really not letting Helm get away. Helm trying his best to do this, but he can't quite get there. So we'll see if Hidde is going to get in the mix. Abzi closing in as well. I think we're on for an absolute showstopper at the end of this race, Leslie. No, it really is crazy. Abzi in 4th place, obviously on those soft tyres, not quite making the progress he'd hope. He's only got 1 place, and he's got Mika coming up behind him quite quickly. Mika with the fastest lap of 118.101 as the slipstreaming going on further down the midfield yet again. It looks like Frankie challenging Snell, Davey waiting to see if they trip over each other, and yeah, as possible to find the next moment. I can see Bo and A Costa going side by side through turn 4. It's dangerous out there, and a big lunge from Bo up into the hairpin. I think Razorback has got an idea of getting past. Felix one just about does it as well, and Felix one gets a slam in the back from Pedro. We've got a DRA car off the road, as was A Costa. It's Jalmar who's dropping all the way down, and he's retired, and we go for our second full safety car. And I say, just things happening everywhere. You'd think it was a 5-lapper at this point. Yeah, lots of hard runners coming in right now. You're exactly right. Everyone choosing those mediums. Hidde has gone on to softs, so we'll be struggling to get probably 9 laps out of them, but it's much more achievable than Abzi's target. I mean, Abzi might be a tyre-saving wonder. Who knows? We'll wait and see. This safety car period will definitely help him, though, Leslie. Yeah. Definitely. Helm has refused a pit stop as well. He's got the most to lose from anybody. Of course, would wind up right at the back, so perhaps his best option here is to double down on this hard strategy, but he's going to be pretty much alone. Only Bo for DRA in P8 has stayed on the hard tyres, so he's also burning some fuel off right now, Helm, I can see on board. Just getting prepared for the restart. We will have, hopefully, in the region of 9 laps to 9 racing laps to go. I'm not quite sure we'll get there. I think we might just manage to get a safety car in this lap notification, will we? The lights are still flashing. Fingers crossed, everyone. It can be called very late in the Spanish Grand Prix, but I don't think it's going to be. I think the rear of the field just hadn't caught up just in time, so we go round again, unfortunately. So you can see why everybody is fighting so very hard. I'll just flash up the standings once again. You can see there 194 LFR, 190 TF Esports and 186 NLR. I have no idea, unfortunately, how Group 2 are doing, but it did look like the top 3 from this group were likely to be the ones that qualify. But there's no real advantage, Lesty, for qualifying highest. I understand the points get reset in the finals. Definitely. Yeah, we're going to have a great run through the month of, well, most of February at least for that one. But yeah, the first round of the finals is next week, am I right? He's struggling when we're not under green flag conditions today, isn't he, Yagizan? He was so quick in qualifying, right on the pace. I think the safety car will almost certainly be in this lap, regardless of what happens with Yagizan. Yeah, the lights are out, so we're about to be underway, but Yagizan with it all to do from the very back of the field in P17. Sadly, we've lost to Jalmar, ML and Mr. BT, but we still have 17 runners with, hopefully, 9 quick laps to go. Hopefully not too few laps to end up with people doing bonsai moves, but you can see how tight it is at the front of the field, and that's why everyone's fighting. It's team honours and it's bragging rights in the leagues. Hamnen, he was late on the power on the previous restart, I think, and he's doing the same again. There he goes now, halfway down the pit boxes, and it's Abzi with a good launch, but not quite as good as Frankie, who's challenging Mika here for P4. He's got the inside line, should be his corner, you fancy. Frankie slightly ahead as they go into turn 3, and then of course they'll switch back into turn to the right for the next turn, and he manages to consolidate that one. Very good driving, getting past Frankie at this point, getting past Mika, sorry, at this point on equal tyres as well. Really good restart launch. Think everyone else running relatively safely at this point. Abzi still perhaps being pretty patient on those soft tyres. He's trying to get them to the end, but I can see 3 or 4 wide going on in the background down in the midfield at the moment. I can't quite make out who's leading who, but Davey behind Mika. Let's see if I can see further down in the order. I think it was right in the middle of the standings there. Lucas Janssen, Snell, Razorback, all kind of involved in jostling for position. A Costa is behind Davey very closely. Looks like we're going to have a very close run into the flag. The driver's still waiting on DRS. Still hasn't been enabled after the safety car restart. Of course, when we have a VSC, it's instant enabling of the DRS, but we do wait 2 laps for it to happen after a safety car, so it just keeps that field really close together and just makes sure that everybody has the opportunity to keep fighting in another lap's time, I think. Anybody sticking out for you at the moment as a surprise or a particular disappointment, Lesty? Yeah. Definitely. Gerolf Yu with an 18-place climb at this stage, and he's managed to contrive to be on roughly similar tyres to those around him, apart from Halm in front. So he'll just be hoping to stick around behind Halm and see how soon his tyres drop off. Although I think they'll be at a fairly similar wear rate to Gerolf Yu. Let the car behind Abzi get too close. Although of course there's a rear gunner he's got. Maybe he'd rather Abzi got ahead of him, Lesty, and had an attack on the car ahead. Yeah. Great to have so many LFR teammates joining us in the chat. I haven't really done my normal shout outs to everybody, but thanks to everyone for indicating your support and joining us tonight. I hope you're enjoying it as far as possible with these technical issues that we've got, but the racing is fantastic. The drivers so close to one another. Performance level is off the charts, frankly, Lesty, in this group. Really enjoying it. Absolutely. That's what we want to see, definitely, yeah. If your colleagues or friends are racing, share it on socials and get them in on the last few laps, because I think we've got the calm before the storm right now. Everybody very close to one another, everybody within DRS. Gerolf Yu just dropping back slightly from Halm, so Halm might have this, you know. He might be able to hold on to those hard tyres relative, which would be quite heroic. We see Frankie struggling on the mediums already on the way out of the final corner. That's going to help Abzi breathe a little bit easier. Everybody, of course, in the train getting DRS. So Gerolf Yu closing. Bo has retired. Bo for DRA. That means 2 DRA drivers retired from the session. And he's stranded. We've gone to another safety car with 5 to go. Absolutely shocking. I'm not quite sure what happened, but we'll try and get a visual on it. No, unfortunately, the car's been dealt with by the marshals. It was the exit of the turn 5 Sayat corner, the little hairpin there, but it was quite a way out of it, so it looks like someone losing the car under traction. I don't know. Obviously, I wasn't watching his car, so I can't tell you whether there was an incident. Halm is absolutely burning off this fuel, trying to lighten the car, trying to ease the load on these old tyres, and I bet he can't believe his bad luck. He's doing everything right, but he just keeps getting that gap reset back behind him. Abzi's hanging back somewhat here. I wonder if is he waiting for a pit stop? No, he's not. He's seen a long way back from his teammate. I wonder if he was trying to get the field away from him, but no, he's gone on. He's going to try it and get these tyres through. He's had 2 safety cars on periods on them, but they're still going to be in a very difficult state. We've got some pit stops happening at the tail of the field, where you would expect people to start gambling. Potentially. Halm has picked up a 5-second penalty there, Lesty. I didn't see what that was for. Right, so he's gonna be discouraged from a pit stop, whatever, if that's the case, because if he serves it, there's nothing we can do. Luke Lira 14 in the chat says he's going to have a heart attack. Yeah. It's very, very tight here. We'll see. Hopefully, a little bit of calm under the safety car will help you, but I can't make any promises with a potential 3-lap sprint at the end of this race. Yeah. There definitely are. Helm is out there on the oldest hard tyres. No one else really pitting apart from the guys right at the foot of the field. The field fairly well spread at the moment. NLR really holding on after qualifying, as you pointed out, Lesty, all outside of the top 10. They're currently 2nd, 3rd and 15th. But the race has definitely turned around from... Oh, we go through again. Bernd Mailander really getting his money's worth today, and he's decided he wants another lap in the lead of this race. Absolutely. That's crazy stuff. I really thought we'd be underway. Yeah, and scoring big enough, I would have to suspect to make it regardless of what happens in Group 1. There was a little bit of a mountain to climb for the 3rd place team in Group 1, but we'll have to see. I'm sure, Lesty, we've got steward decisions to come as well, and things that might complicate the issue. But you'll be tweeting about the qualification and the final standings and everything in the midweek, presumably at some point. Okay, well, we are about to be underway. Confirmed, we will get, hopefully, 3 laps remaining. If they can complete the first one, we should then get the rest of them, regardless of what happens on track. Abzi, 3rd place here, behind Gerolf Ewan and Helm. An absolute mix of tyre strategies in the podium positions at the moment. Frankie will hope to hold on to 4th pre the penalty, and Mika and Davey, well, we saw what they were, how they decided to race after the last one. Helm making everybody guess. A little bit of contact going on further back in the grid, and he really kept everybody guessing, and I think he had his 3rd opportunity to go for it, but it was perhaps the worst restart we've seen. Mika trying to go around the outside, caught on the dirty side of the track, and Frankie defends very cleanly and very well to resist the efforts of Frankie to get by. Frankie resisting Mika. Davey for TFR struggling around here with Snell, who is now getting overtaken by Davies for DRA into turn 5, and the Davies are together on track. Just to add further confusion, we should have a ban on the same names going on. It's very, very difficult. But at the moment, Frankie's actually more on the attack than the defence, and he's looking to try and make a move on Abzi, who's got those soft tyres, the really old soft tyres, who are going to be flirting with punctures here tonight. Oh, we've got a CPI car round it. Snell round in turn 12. Always a difficult place to get the car through safely. But yeah, turn round, and I think heading towards the foot of the field, stranded as he is, right down there. I think he'll try and get out ahead of his teammate. But with 2 to go, it's Helm, Gerolf, Ewan, Abzi, Frankie, Mika, Davey and Davey making your top 7. And the cars start to attack one another. But they'll get DRS, Lesty, on the final lap of the race. Yep. Oh, a good dive from Mika up the inside into the Seat turn 5. He's trying to squeeze the DRA driver on the outside, but he's holding on. It's Frankie trying to keep. This is going to get unpleasant, I think, in a moment. They interlock wheels. They touch going into turn 8, and it's all over the road. This is surely going to open up the door to anyone driving behind this group, but Davey wasn't ready to give that one up as Mika goes back down the inside into turn 10, side by side. Hopefully they can do this a little bit cleaner than before. Mika getting by Davey, but I think they let Frankie through. No, they didn't let Frankie through. I think Frankie's okay, and yeah, all happening. Lap 32, the leader about to start his final lap with Gerolf Yu just 3/4 of a second behind him. Abzi, as you say, Lesty, on the defensive. We've got a comment, unsurprisingly, from NLR saying that Felix is flying. He's up to P9 after all those issues. Felix with a very typical for him strong restart. I'm going to focus on the lead. Wow! As Gerolf Yu tries to brake on the grass and gets his line completely wrong. I don't know if that's focus or if that's tyre death, but at lap 15 it's more likely to be tyre death than anybody. Helm trying to hang on here. This is it. We're approaching the final DRS zone of the lap. It's spend now for Gerolf Yu, but he's just not close enough. Needs to pile the pressure on. Abzi defending from Davey, but Davey not able to make a move either. I think Abzi's going to hold on. I think Helm will get relegated following a penalty, but we have to assume that that will get removed if he has given up the chance to serve it. And we're heading into the final corner, the New Holland right-hander, turn 16. It's Helm who takes the win for LFR. I'm going to have to call it the way I see it. Gerolf Yu in second, Abzi in third. Obviously Helm disappearing down the order. Davey got fourth place in the end. Fourth to Lucas, a good result for LFR. NLR getting second and third as far as I can see. Yagizan, a final lap out of absolutely nowhere, up to P6, following everyone else's penalties. Then Frankie for DRA, Mika, Davey, Felix won. Unfortunately, CPI'd in 11th, 12th and 13th positions, then Acosta and Janssen, and that was absolute breathless Spanish Grand Prix, Lesty. Yeah, I think 3 of those. Yeah, and so NLR, LFR, and TFR, presumably the guys who are going to get through. Gerolf Yu with I think an 18 place climb gets that drive of the day. I don't know if you agree with that, Lesty, but that's what the game's given out. Definitely. We'll see. Of course, we do fully expect Helm to appeal the penalty he was given, and he worked so hard to make sure he could get that removed and didn't end up serving it in the pit. So I'm going to call it the way I think it went down. Helm first, and then Gerolf Yu and Abzi second and third. Davey, I think, in fourth for TFL, the highest TFL driver, which they would not be happy with after qualifying, but I would imagine they'll be happy to get through to the finals nonetheless. Lucas in fifth, Yagizan for TFL in sixth with a fantastic final lap. Then Frankie for DRA, Mika for TFL, Davey for DRA, Felix won for NLR, and then we've got the CPI drivers Razorback and Hidder. LFR's Acosta, CPI Snell, TFL's Janssen, all got to the finish with the fastest start from Acosta. Then Pedro, Bo, Jalmar, Emil and Mr. BT failed to finish the race and will not pick up any points out of this evening's racing. But the points were well spread across the field. I think some very good results, some very good driving, and a very difficult night out there at Catalonia, Lesty. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm absolutely. I cannot wait, and I'm really glad to be commentating on the final group. I'm expecting to see IRT and QRT through, given the point situations as they stood after round 3. And so getting those guys in amongst the mix with the top 3 out of Group 1 potentially. Of course, it's not confirmed until all stewards' reports have been submitted, but potentially we've got on our hands an absolute showstopper for the finals. Do make sure you've subscribed to the channel and you're following CrownE League and Weber Red 5 on Twitter, and we'll get all the machinations, all the decisions, and the final 5 teams to take on this brilliant tournament. We'll get them confirmed for you on socials in the week. But from me, Webbo, and from Lesty, we wish you all a good rest of the evening, and we will catch you on the next race day.